Hey guys, Fan here again, and today I'm bringing you guys 7 must-know tips about Diablo 4 before you start playing the game. These are very important, life-saving, time-saving tips that are going to save you both a lot of time and frustration if you know about them before you actually play the game. So let's get started here. Tip number 1 is pretty simple. Most people that are familiar with ARPGs will already know about this one, and it is TP to town. There are waypoints in the towns, there are waypoints scattered across the world. So if you finish doing a quest somewhere and you need to go back to town, make sure to use the waypoint so you don't have to end up walking the whole distance. If you use the waypoint, you can just teleport back from anywhere. It's much quicker. Now, number 2 is a Diablo 4 specific. So in Diablo 4, there are these dungeons and they are scattered throughout the map. There are hundreds of them, supposedly. So you're going to be encountering them everywhere. This is going to be a very frequent occurrence. And these dungeons are pretty big. I'm not in a dungeon right now, but the scale of the dungeon, some of these dungeons are probably around the size of this entire chunk of map. It is massive inside there for a lot of these dungeons. And when you finish the dungeon, a lot of the time you will not want to go back to town. So, for example, let's say that I just finished this dungeon and I actually wanted to go to the Hallowed Ossuary dungeon from the Immortal dungeon. Well, when you finish the dungeon, it's actually not very obvious what you should do. If you run back all the way through the dungeon, it's going to take forever because some of these dungeons are absolutely massive. And if you teleport back to town, then you're going to have to go from town Kyovashad, for example, all the way over here, which is very inefficient. So when you're inside the dungeon and you finish the dungeon, you can actually open up your map and just click on the dungeon entrance and you'll be teleported back to the dungeon entrance as if these dungeon entrances were waypoints essentially. So keep that in mind. Make sure you do that, and that can save you a lot of travel time and headache for a lot of the quests in Diablo 4. Number 3, there is world bosses in Diablo 4, and the world boss, the first world boss, is located here. Now, this is mostly for you guys that are going to be playing the open beta weekend next week, or maybe some of you guys that are going to be playing the early access in the next couple days, but also for anyone that's going to be playing Diablo 4 the first time on official launch. On the map Kyovashad, this is basically Act 1. It is right here, so you know exactly where it is. You don't have to run around trying to find it and maybe miss your chance on, getting that sweet world boss loot if you see it spawning soon. So make sure to keep track of this area on the map. All right, number 4. Now, health potions actually drop pretty commonly when you are out on the field and killing mobs. But keep in mind, if you come from Diablo 3, the health potions that drop are not health globes like they are in Diablo 3 or HOTS. When you pick them up, they don't automatically heal you. When you pick them up, actually, all it does is replenishes one stack of your potion, which you have to manually use in order for it to heal you. So if you walk over a potion and you're not getting healed and you don't know why, that's why. It's a little bit different in Diablo 4. You have to manually use it with Q, and walking over one of those things that looks like a health globe, health potion in the wild, all it does is replenish this count. So if I'm at 4 out of 5 and I walk over one, I'll be back at 5 out of 5. Speaking of health potion, the next tip is also related to health potions. Number 5 is make sure to visit the alchemist here. Alchemist is very important because it can upgrade your potions, and you can see starting off with the level 1 weak healing potion, it actually makes your potion very, very weak. You only heal 17 life, but after a couple upgrades, even after the first upgrade, you go from 17 life instantly to 48 life instantly. So you're almost tripling that instant healing just from one potion upgrade. And there are many more potion upgrades you can do every 10 levels. So make sure to keep an eye on that. That will help your survivability a lot. Tip number 6 has to do with GALLOWVINE. Now, what GALLOWVINE is a it's a resource that you can harvest from the wild. It looks kind of like a flower. You can see the picture of it right there in the material cost section. And you just, if you see it in the wild, you just click it and you can gather it. And GALLOWVINE is very important because of its alchemist properties. So not only can you use it to upgrade the healing potion, as you can see here, you can also use it in order to craft a lot of elixirs. And a lot of these early elixirs, keep in mind, we're only level 25, which is the max level for the Diablo early access beta. A lot of these early potions can be made pretty easily, and all you need is some GALLOWVINE as well as one other material. The other material is going to be varying, but GALLOWVINE is always going to be needed. And the reason why this is pretty important is because not only does the potion have, defensive or offensive properties, the potions all actually increase your experience gain by 5% for 30 minutes, which can be a pretty big deal during the leveling stage. 30 minutes, you can probably find another 10 or 12 GALLOWVINE in those 30 minutes, so you can potentially permanently have this 5% experience boost throughout your entire leveling process, which can be a pretty big deal, not to mention the additional stat boost. So pay attention to the GALLOWVINE and make sure that you are utilizing the alchemist and these potions to their best effect. Now, number 7 is the last tip. It's more of a combat tip for you. So in combat in Diablo 4, there is a lot of crowd control. You're going to find yourself frozen. You're going to find yourself dazed, stunned, rooted, all of the above. So look for unstoppable on your ability. As you can see here on my shadow step, it says become unstoppable. Unstoppable is extremely strong in Diablo 4 because it works like Cleanse in League of Legends or Medallion in Heroes of the Storm. And what that means is even when you are crowd controlled, even when you are stunned, you can use the ability and it will break you out of that stun, out of that silence, out of the root, and you can, move freely again. So very, very powerful ability. You are going to be CC'd pretty frequently in Diablo 4. So if you have a chance at getting a unstoppable ability, it is always very nice to keep one of these on your skill bar just in case you need it. That'll be all for this video. Make sure to follow the channel for more content like this, and I will see you guys next time.